So, today we're going to dive into a story where a style of music didn't just capture a moment in time, it actually smashed right into it. This is all about the Specials, two-tone, and the sound of a whole country at its breaking point.
And that right there, that's the feeling that kicks this whole thing off. Jerry Dammers, the brain behind the Specials, he wasn't just writing songs, he was practically taking notes on a social powder keg that was about to go off. He could feel it in the air.
So that's the real question, isn't it? How does that feeling of frustration, of pure anger, get funneled into a sound, a look, and a whole movement that ends up defining an entire era? Well, to figure that out, we've got to go right back to the beginning.
Yeah, because before you can even begin to get the music, you have to get the world that created it. This wasn't just some band that popped up out of nowhere. It was a direct answer to a very specific and very troubled time and place.
Okay, so I want you to picture this. You're in Coventry, it's 1977. This is a city that was built on the car industry, and now you're watching its factories just shut down one after the other. Hope is getting pretty hard to find, jobs are disappearing, and out on the streets, racial tensions are just bubbling over.
Now, what's so fascinating here is how all these different things collided. You had the economic collapse, which was literally creating these ghost towns. Then you had this incredible cultural injection from Jamaican immigrants, the Windrush generation, who brought the sounds of ska with them. And on top of all that, you had these far-right groups gaining ground, which pretty much forced people to pick a side. It was, for sure, the perfect storm.
And out of that storm, well, an answer came, a musical solution. You see, the Specials didn't just sing about the crisis, they actually invented a brand new sound to fight back with.
Okay, so the secret sauce is this incredible fusion. They took that infectious, upbeat rhythm of ska, that classic skank that just makes you want to move, and they slammed it together with the raw, fast, and aggressive energy of punk rock. It was music you could dance to and protest to all at the same time.
And this really shows you how innovative they were. They weren't just covering old songs, not at all. They took that cool, jazzy vibe of original Jamaican ska, cranked the speed way up, and then dropped in these heavy, booming bass lines from reggae. It was a total reinvention for a new, much angrier generation.
And the band itself? They were this fusion. Just look at this lineup. It's a mix of black and white musicians, some born in England, some with Jamaican roots. Their very existence on a stage together was a powerful political statement. The anti-racist message wasn't just in the lyrics, it was literally in the band's DNA.
But see, this was always going to be about more than just songs. Jerry Dammers had this huge vision for what he called an English Motown, a whole cultural package with a really powerful, unmistakable identity.
And the man was a genius at this stuff. He didn't just go sign a normal record deal. Nope, he negotiated for his own independent label within a major label. In the UK at that time, that kind of creative and financial control was just unheard of. It meant Two-Tone Records could build a whole scene, signing bands like The Selector and Madness, and create a unified movement, not just one hit band.
And the branding, it was perfect. So simple, so direct, so powerful. You had the Walt Jabsco logo, which was based on a photo of a super cool-looking Peter Tosh, and he became the mascot for a whole generation. And the checkerboard pattern, well, it was the perfect symbol for racial unity, even though Dammers later admitted he just kind of stole the idea from some tape on his bicycle. Hilarious.
All right, so they have the sound, they have the band, and they have the brand. The whole movement is just racing towards this incredibly dramatic climax, a point where their most famous song would become completely tangled up with a national crisis.
Just look at this timeline. It's staggering. You can't make this up. In the summer of '81, the Specials release Ghost Town. A few weeks later, riots explode across Britain. And right as the country is burning, their song about it hits #1. And then, at the absolute peak of their fame and relevance, the band just falls apart. It's an unbelievable chain of events.
3 weeks, for 3 whole weeks, right in the middle of all that chaos, Ghost Town was the #1 song in the UK. It wasn't just a hit record, it became the official, inescapable soundtrack to that whole summer of unrest.
And those lyrics, they weren't just poetry, they were journalism. With those creepy wind sounds and that mournful horn section, the song just perfectly bottled the feeling of decay and desperation that was fueling the riots. It cemented their place in history, but, it also tore the band apart.
But here's the thing. The story doesn't just end with the band breaking up. No way. In a lot of ways, that was just the start of the movement's echo around the world.
So after the split, Dammers keeps going with a new lineup called The Special, AKA. And the political focus, it shifts. It goes from tackling racism right there in Britain to taking on the massive global injustice of apartheid in South Africa. And from that came the iconic song, Free Nelson Mandela.
And that influence, it just kept spreading like wildfire. The two-tone sound directly sparked this huge third wave of ska over in America. Bands you definitely know, like No Doubt and Rancid, they took that ska-punk recipe and sold millions of records with it, spreading the message to a whole new continent. It was proof that a sound born in a struggling English city could actually change the world.
You know, the band has faced real loss, with the sad passing of their incredible drummer John Bradbury, and of course the iconic frontman Terry Hall. But the core idea that they fought for from day one, that message of unity, of black and white, unite and fight, that message is as powerful and as needed today as it ever was.
Which kind of leaves us with one last big thought to chew on. The Specials, they created a sound that perfectly captured a moment of crisis. But they also baked a timeless message into that sound. So what really lasts longer? The band that makes the music, or the message that the music was made for?